Hi everyone, I thought today I would talk about a couple diecast Star Wars ships I have. These are vintage diecast Star Wars ships from the Kenner line back in the late 70s, not too long after the Star Wars movie came out originally. I think like a couple years after or so. These two I actually got from my brother, my older brother, who unfortunately died of cancer a few years ago. So these are still prized possessions I have from my childhood that I really still enjoy to have in my collection today. The first one here is of course, the Millennium Falcon, which I love this ship in the Star Wars movie. This was one of my favorite toys back then. And it's still in pretty good shape. It's got a turret gun that can turn. Radar dish can move around. That was really cool details they put on here. You can look through the clear canopy and you can see Han and Chewie sitting in there, but they're brown. They're not really detailed, so just brown plastic in there. And of course, underneath you have the landing gear, which can be folded up, so you can have flight mode, and then put it back down. Maybe put it back down. There we go. To go into landing mode. Boop. There we go. Pretty awesome. And of course, the Imperial Destroyer. Oh yeah. I remember sitting in the movie theater with my brother back in May of '77 when Star Wars came out. We saw the movie in this really small theater. It was close to ISU, Indiana State University, where my brother went to college. He was in college at the time. And I remember sitting there in the middle row, and the Star Wars crawl came up, and the first scene you see is the Imperial Cruiser coming on the screen, and it seems like it was going on forever and ever. Huge, huge ship. So right then and there, I knew I had to have a toy of that if they ever made one. And for Christmas, my brother got me one, along with the Millennium Falcon, a few years later. Another die-cast ship. It does have a plastic piece on it, which is the bridge right here. That's all plastic. It's not die-cast, but it's still pretty neat. And what I really like about this one is you can simulate the capture of Princess Leia's ship. Because inside, we have the little Corellian Corvette that actually pops out of there. I'm really surprised this thing actually stayed with the ship. It didn't get lost. It's kind of yellowed with age, a little out of focus. A little yellowed with age a little bit. But it's pretty cool because you can actually duplicate that scene. Oh no! Stick it back in there. Oop. And of course, we have some stands on here, so this thing will actually sit up level on a surface. Those wasn't on the ship in the movie. It's just for the toy, so it'll sit up straight when you put it on display. Now, along with these two here, I also had the Darth Vader Tie Fighter that was die-cast. That featured a removable cockpit that had Darth Vader sitting in it. Unfortunately, that one was lost. I don't know whatever happened to it. I'm trying to find it again to put back in my collection to have the original ones I had. I also had the Land Speeder, and I had the X-Wing Fighter as well, which those were lost, unfortunately. I'm really happy I was able to hang on to these, since these were from my brother. The other ones I got for birthdays and just buying off out of the whim, like maybe I mowed the grass or something like that, and my parents would buy me a die-cast ship for doing it. But I love these die-cast vehicles, these classic ones from Kenner back in the late 70s. Do you have any memories of these die-cast vehicles that you can recall? If you do, comment down below. If you've done a video on these type of ships, put a link to your video down below in the show notes as well. I'll be interested to watch them and hear your thoughts or read your thoughts on these neat die-cast Star Wars ships that Kenner put out. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Oh boy! Yeah!
Hey, there's Hasbro! Hasbro makes toys! What's new, Hasbro?
Pretty sneaky, sis.
Remember, you can tell it's Mattel. It's...
Okay, let them go! Some of the great SSP racers for '72.
M-A-R-X spelled
And remember, if it isn't Duncan, it isn't Yo-Yo.